Okay, so what's the one thing that separates a good company from a great one? It's not just about the product, it's not just about the bottom line, it's the people. And more specifically, it's about what gets them fired up to come to work every day. Today, we're diving into the sputtering engine of employee motivation and figuring out how to get it firing on all cylinders again. So, I want you to take a second and really think about your team. I mean, a hard look. Do you see that spark, that drive? Or does it feel like, they're just running on fumes? It's a tough question, I get it. But brace yourself, because the data shows a pretty startling reality from most workplaces out there. And that reality is this number: 33%. That's it. Only about a third of employees are actually engaged and motivated. Just let that sink in for a moment. Yeah, that number comes from Gallup, and it reveals what we can call the motivation gap. Think about it this way. That means two-thirds of your team's potential, their creativity, their energy, is just sitting on the sidelines. We're here to talk about how you can close that gap for good. So let's get on the same page. What even is motivation when we talk about it like this? Well, it's pretty simple. It's the why behind what we do. It's that mix of internal drive and all those external pulls that get us invested in our work. And this right here, this is key. You've got two sides of the motivation coin. On one side, you have intrinsic motivation. That's the fire inside, that feeling of pride when you nail a project. On the other side is extrinsic motivation. That's the carrot, right? The salary, the bonus. Now, the biggest mistake leaders make is focusing only on the extrinsic stuff. We're going to show you why a balanced approach is really the only way to win. And if you're wondering if this really impacts the bottom line, oh yeah, it does. Just look at this quote from McKinsey. The cost of doing nothing is, well, it's huge. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars lost every single year for a typical large company. That's a number that should get anyone's attention. But okay, enough with the doom and gloom. Let's flip it around. Instead of just trying to plug a leak, let's talk about what happens when you actually fill the tank. A motivated team isn't just about avoiding losses. It's like pouring rocket fuel on your growth. We're talking about a massive surge in performance, a wave of new ideas, and building a culture where your best people never, ever want to leave. So, the big question is, how do we actually do it? Well, let's open up our toolkit. Part 1 is all about giving people a real sense of growth and a clear direction. First up, training and development. Most people have this built-in desire to learn, to get better, to grow. When you invest in their skills, you're tapping right into that powerful intrinsic motivator. You're showing them, hey, you have a future here with us. And listen, this doesn't have to mean sending everyone to expensive offsites. Think smaller, more accessible things like internal webinars, pairing people up in mentorship programs, or even a simple lunch and learn. It's all about creating a culture where learning is constant. Next up is alignment, and this is a cycle, not a checklist. It starts with step 1, you got to connect what an individual is working on to the bigger company mission. Then, step 2 is all about constant communication through regular check-ins. And finally, step 3, you measure and you tweak based on surveys. This isn't a one-and-done thing. It's a conversation that keeps work meaningful. All right, so we've covered individual growth. Now let's zoom out a bit to the team level. Our second toolkit is all about building a great culture and a sense of connection. The very fabric of your workplace. Let's talk about one of the easiest yet most powerful motivators out there, recognition. It is absolutely shocking how often this gets overlooked. I mean, at a basic human level, people just want to know that their work matters and that somebody sees it. And this doesn't have to be complicated or expensive at all. We're talking a quick shout out on Slack, a public thank you in the team meeting, or maybe something more formal. All of these are just powerful ways to say, hey, I see the great work you're doing and I appreciate it. These small things really add up. Now let's talk teamwork. Check out this chart. One person can get a certain amount done, right? But when people collaborate, boom, the output goes way up. But here's the magic part. When you add real motivation to that collaborative team, whoa, the output just skyrockets. Working together creates a sense of shared purpose. And you can strengthen those bonds with some dedicated team-building activities. Seriously, whether it's a volunteer day or just a casual team lunch, these shared experiences are the glue that holds a team together and builds that crucial sense of belonging. Okay, our final toolkit is maybe the most transformative of all. It's all about autonomy and empowerment. This is where you really stop micromanaging and you start leading by giving your team the trust and the tools they need to succeed on their own terms. A huge piece of empowerment is flexible scheduling. When you let go of that rigid 9 to 5, you're sending a really powerful message of trust. This one shift can dramatically lower stress, improve work life balance, and build a deep, deep sense of loyalty. But ultimately, it all comes down to the manager. They are on the front lines of motivation every single day. It's not enough to just hand out tasks. A great manager actually takes the time to understand what makes each person tick and then aligns their work with their strengths. That is what true empowerment looks like. And look, especially now in today's hybrid and remote world, technology is the connective tissue. Things like social intranets or team chat channels are no longer just nice to haves. They're absolutely essential for creating a sense of community and fighting that isolation that can completely kill motivation. So, if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. While a paycheck gets someone in the door, it doesn't keep them engaged. True, lasting motivation is always going to be built on a foundation of purpose, recognition, and the chance to grow. And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. That potential is there. It's sitting in your team right now, waiting. The real question is, are you doing what it takes to unlock it?